Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty is back behind bars after the Department of Justice is claiming that he robbed his label owner and Atlanta rapper Gucci Mane.
The contract at the center of the Pooh Shiesty kidnapping case is now public record. Not because Gucci Mane leaked it, not because Shiesty's team put it out, because federal prosecutors filed it in open court to destroy Shiesty's bond argument, and reporters pulled it straight from the federal docket. The US government leaked this contract. And what is inside it explains everything about why that January night in Dallas allegedly ended the way it did. Let's go back to the beginning. Lantrell Williams Jr., Pooh Shiesty, signed with Gucci Mane's Pooh 17 Records around 2020. His debut mixtape Shiest Season debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 in 2021. That same year, he caught a federal firearms case out of Florida. He pleaded guilty in 2022 and served time at a federal prison in Pennsylvania. In October 2025, he was released on home confinement, an ankle monitor on his leg, living in a high-rise in Frisco, Texas. 3 months after walking out, the Dallas meeting happened. On January 10, 2026, 3 men flew into Dallas for what they believed was a business meeting at a recording studio. One of them was Radrick Davis, Gucci Mane, the founder of 10117 Records. According to federal prosecutors, Shiesty asked to speak with the label owner privately in a recording room. Inside that room were Shiesty, his father Lantrell Williams Sr., and rapper Big 30, whose legal name is Rodney Wright Jr. According to the FBI affidavit attached to the criminal complaint, Shiesty produced contract termination paperwork and told Gucci to sign it. The two argued. Shiesty then allegedly pulled out what appeared to be an AK-style pistol and forced him to sign. After that, prosecutors say Shiesty took Gucci's wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash, while co-defendants in the other room pulled guns on the 2 remaining victims. One of those men was choked to near unconsciousness. Prosecutors valued the total robbery at approximately $450,000. Here is the detail that has been discussed less than it deserves. Big 30, according to federal documents, was the one holding the phone. He allegedly recorded the entire signing on his cell phone, while another defendant blocked the door holding a firearm. In that footage, Gucci Mane can be heard saying, "I signed the paper, it's done," before being instructed to announce on camera that Pooh Shiesty had been dropped from 1017. Why would anyone film their own alleged crime? Because Gucci Mane has a documented history of going on camera to announce artist departures publicly and directly. In this theory, the video was not just evidence of a signature, it was a forced press release, engineered to look like every other time Gucci hopped on Instagram and cut someone loose. A release the world would believe, because the world had seen Gucci do it before voluntarily. After the incident, the victims went to Dallas police and gave statements at the scene. In April 2026, the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas announced charges against 9 defendants: Shiesty, his father, Big 30, and 6 others: kidnapping, robbery, conspiracy. Each man faces up to life in federal prison. All pleaded not guilty. Now let's talk about what was actually in that contract, because this is where the title of this video lives. According to the terms revealed through federal filings and reported by Complex, the document was a wish list of total freedom. Point 1. Shiesty would be allowed to terminate his recording deal with 1017 Records immediately. Point 2. He would be released from every obligation under that deal and handed full ownership of his masters and intellectual property: the recordings, the branding, the name. And then the clause that tells you exactly where his head was at. The paperwork would transfer 117's approval rights with Atlantic Records to Shiesty directly at his sole discretion, meaning he could walk into any label in America and cut his own deal with nobody, at 1017 holding a veto. Prosecutors noted that a 7-figure deal reportedly on the table gave Shiesty financial incentive to secure that freedom by any means necessary. This is the oldest fight in the music industry. Labels front the money for recording, videos, and promotion. And in exchange, they hold the recordings, the master recordings that generate revenue for decades, especially in the streaming era where a catalog functions like an annuity, paying out every single month. Taylor Swift re-recorded her entire catalog to escape this exact arrangement. Prince wrote the word slave on his face in protest of it. A young star fresh out of prison demanding his masters back is not a shocking impulse. What is shocking is the method the feds allege he chose. According to the government's account, the meeting that turned violent started as a negotiation. Gucci Mane reportedly came to Dallas willing to discuss improved terms, more money, a better split, a renegotiated deal. What he would not surrender was ownership, the masters, the name, the catalog that 1017 had invested in building. The line Gucci allegedly drew was the exact line the contract demanded he cross. And according to prosecutors, when he refused to cross it, a weapon appeared. The other side of this is worth understanding clearly. Under a standard label deal, an artist works their way out project by project until their contractual obligation is satisfied, album by album. By the government's account, Shiesty had a legal route out of 1017 that ran through a recording booth. Prosecutors say he chose a route that ran through a Draco instead. He allegedly would not hand over albums, but was willing to hand over his freedom. And the document he allegedly forced onto the table at gunpoint is legally worthless anyway. Every attorney who has reviewed this case has reached the same conclusion. A contract signed under duress is void. The only thing that contract could ever actually do was become evidence. And that is exactly what it became. Here is how Shiesty supposedly got into that room while wearing an ankle monitor. According to prosecutors, he had help from inside the system. Court filings allege he was involved in an inappropriate relationship with at least one of his case supervisors, who created fake day passes allowing him to travel to unapproved locations, including on January 10th. That caseworker has since been fired. Text messages cited in the filings show Shiesty allegedly discussing being high and drunk on dates when he was supposed to be in home confinement. Meanwhile, according to rental records and license plate readers, multiple defendants traveled from Memphis to Dallas ahead of the meeting. And prosecutors say they have the receipts. Literally. The termination and release document was allegedly printed at a Staples just hours before the meeting. Pre-printed contract, pre-planned outcome. After the charges were announced, the case appeared to weaken publicly. At Shiesty's detention hearing, the FBI admitted on the stand that they did not have the contract. The document at the center of the entire case, the paperwork Gucci Mane was allegedly forced to sign at gunpoint, was missing. The government could not produce it. On top of that, the FBI had not yet interviewed Gucci Mane, relying only on statements the victims gave Dallas police the night of the incident. Co-defendants Big 30 and Shiesty's father were released on bond. In some corners of the internet, people were already writing the case's obituary. Then, in late June 2026, everything flipped. Federal prosecutors filed a 25-page opposition to bond, stating they had recovered the actual termination and release document along with the cell phone video of Gucci Mane being made to announce Shiesty's release from the label. The contract that had been missing for 6 months was now sitting in a federal court file. The video that the defense said did not exist was now attached to a federal filing with screenshots pulled directly from it. One showing William Sr. holding a document in the recording room, another showing a co-defendant blocking the door with what prosecutors describe as an AK-47-style rifle, and a third capturing Gucci on camera completing the announcement. The video circulated publicly within hours of the filing, shared across social media and every major hip-hop platform. Prosecutors described their case as extraordinarily strong. Every cooperating victim and witness had stayed consistent across multiple interviews. Their accounts were backed by surveillance footage, cell phone location data, electronic monitoring records, the Staples receipt, and social media evidence. The defense's strategy of pointing to missing evidence evaporated overnight. A person described as a victim and survivor wrote the court directly, asking that Shiesty remain in custody, stating his actions demonstrate a disregard for the safety and well-being of others, and noting these alleged crimes occurred while he was already on government-monitored release. Gucci Mane's only public acknowledgement of any of this has been in the music. His track Crash Dummy contains the line, "I thought it was a business meeting, but it was a setup." He has not commented publicly. His team has been silent. He gave his statement to Dallas police the night of January 10th, and that cooperation is what handed the government the foundation of this case. 9 defendants, all pleading not guilty. Big 30 and Williams Sr. out on bond. Shiesty in the Kaufman County Jail awaiting a trial now scheduled for February 2027, after the original June date was pushed back. He is a convicted felon who was on home confinement when this allegedly happened, facing federal kidnapping charges that carry a maximum of life in prison. The contract is real, it is public, it is legally void. and it is sitting in a federal court file as the government's proof of premeditation. Was there any version of this where Shiesty gets his masters and keeps his freedom? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this one.